Kết nối với tai nghe. Dạ. Chị Hà muốn hỏi đi ạ. Cô Trúc Thanh chưa sẵn sàng thì cô sẵn sàng chưa ạ? Dạ vâng, thì con mời cô ạ. Một loa. Dạ cô có thể lên đây để cho bà ngồi ở vị trí này để bà nhìn thấy cho rõ ạ. Dạ. Kính thưa Achan và dạ, ông John, bà Sarah và tất cả mọi người ở đây ạ. Dạ, câu hỏi đầu tiên của con là được đặt ra là niệm về hơi thở có phải là đề mục của Samatha hay là Vipassana, mà nếu là đề mục của Samatha thì nó làm duyên cho cái sự an tịnh như thế nào ạ? So her questions is about breath as meditation object. It is meditation object of samatha or of vipassana. And in the case of it being the object of samatha, how does it condition calm?
So when it's the object of samatha, it's a concept of breath. It's a concept of breath as the object. So it's the wise reflection of how breath as the object can condition calm. So there has to be understanding of what calm is, as we have been discussing, an understanding of what kusala is and what is akusala. So now when we think about breath, how I'm out of breath or the breath is at the nostril, the question is what kind of chitta thinks about breath? Or if we try to focus on the breath, try to focus on the breath at the nostril, wishing to be calm, wishing to focus on that object because we've read about it, concentrating on that particular object, the concept about the reality. What kind of chitta is it at that moment? Usually, always without understanding, there is bound to be clinging and ignorance, trying to concentrate on breath, wishing to have calm, wishing to understand more. But in a day, there may be times when, for example, like now, we may reflect that without breath now, there's no life. Death can come at any time. Life is just at this moment. And it depends on breath. With breath gone, everything we find important is gone. Life can come to an end at any time. It just depends on breath conditioned by chitta at almost every moment during life. So sometimes when reflecting on breath, not by trying or wishing, but naturally, there may be a condition for calm at that moment. But it has to be wise reflection. If it's just concentrating or trying to focus on breath, it's I wishing, trying again. And for those who were wise or perhaps are wise, the wise reflection conditions calm again and again with that particular object until it's developed to a high degree of samatha. But however great the development of samatha is, even when it's the attainment of jhana, it doesn't even a little eradicate unwholesomeness, because at those moments of calm, it's temporary. The different mental states, the different realities are not understood at all as dhammas. So there is no giving up of the idea of self. Just at those moments, the chitta and cetasikas are calm, no clinging at that time. So it's kusala, great kusala, but without the development of understanding of reality, it's not the path. This is why it says in some commentaries that the development of samatha, the attainment of jhana, is the wrong path. What it means is that if it is the development without the development of understanding of reality, it's not the eightfold path that the Buddha taught, which leads to the end of life in samsara. When there is any understanding of reality appearing, at those moments, calm is there. And it is the higher calm that is developed with the understanding of realities, because it's the understanding that the kusala at that moment, the calm at that moment, is anatta. It doesn't belong to me, it doesn't belong to anyone, it's gone instantly. And in the deepest sense, it's dukkha too. So however great the samatha is, however great the jhana is, it's dukkha. It lasts for a moment, it's gone, and it's the object of clinging again and again. So when there is understanding of the reality of breath, it's like now softness or motion, but the one that is conditioned by the citta. But it's just a reality like the softness here or here that falls away instantly. Nothing to be attached to, nothing to aim towards, nothing to wish to experience. It's just the subtle the object conditioned by citta that appears as softness or motion or heat, for example. So in each group of rupas conditioned by citta, they arise and fall away at almost every moment in life, not at moments of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching, but citta conditions the group of rupas at almost every other moment. So breath is there, conditioned by citta, but it's gone long before we have any idea of breath in the nostrils or breath in the abdomen or all these conventional ideas. That's not the understanding of the reality of rupa that we call, that is called breath. So breath as a concept that's considered wisely when it's the object of samatha, and breath, which is the reality appearing as softness or heat or motion now that is conditioned by citta. But whatever reality it is or whatever concept, it's of no consequence. It's gone immediately. So what about now? Does breath appear now?
Dạ có.
Where is the breath now?
Hai.
Nó sắc do tâm sinh à?
Nó ở đâu ạ?
Nó ở sắc ý vật à?
Nó ở hơi thở ở sắc ý vật ạ? She said that it's at the Hadaya Vatu. It's at the Hadaya Vatu.
Is it the reality of breath, or is it the concept that is thought about, the idea about breath now?
Yeah. Nó cũng là khái niệm ạ.
It's a concept.
Yes. So it's just our idea about breath, and usually it's like this. So there's just thinking there must be breath, and there's thinking the breath is here or there. So it's just an idea. And at this moment of thinking about breath at the Hadiyawatu, is the citta calm or not calm?
Con muốn Sarah phân tích thêm về đoạn này cho con rõ.
Can you explain a bit further?
Because usually when we think about breath, think about, oh, there's breath in my body, or breath at the stomach, or breath at the heart, or breath at the nostrils. It's usually thinking with ignorance, not with understanding. That's why we ask many questions about it. So when there is thinking about breath without understanding, then it cannot be kusala thinking at that moment. So at that moment, if it's not kusala thinking, it's not generosity at that moment, it's not metta at that moment, it's not understanding at that moment. So it must be akusala thinking, and when it's akusala thinking, no calm. So I asked whether there is calm there, because when it's thinking without understanding, just thinking about the heart base or thinking about breath in my body, it's not the wise reflection with calm at that moment. So that's why it's good to ask and discuss and consider more about breath. And I'm going to invite Ajahn to add more, or Jonathan.
Hello. Thank you, Sarah. I'd just like to add a few words to what Sarah has said. There are some misconceptions or misunderstandings about samatha, the development of samatha. And one of those misconceptions concerns how the object conditions calm, which was your question. How does the object condition calm? And the short answer is that the object cannot condition calm. The object cannot condition anything. There is nothing inherently calm about breathing, but it is how the object is considered or contemplated or thought about that is the condition for calm. People think that breath itself conditions calm, and the more one concentrates on calm, the more kusala there is, the more calm there is. People think that breath conditions calm, and the more concentration on breath, the more calm there is. But that's not the case, because concentration itself on something cannot necessarily bring calm. Concentration, as we know, can be kusala or akusala. So it has to be the way the object is considered. For example, one of the other objects of samatha development is death, marana sati. And obviously, it's not possible to concentrate on death itself, or even the idea of death. If it's just an idea, then there's nothing there to concentrate on, unlike with breath, where there is some focus, point of focus. So in order for breath to be associated with kusala citta, with calmness, it has to be the way it is considered. And Sarah touched on this when she mentioned the fact that if there is no breath, there is no life, for example. But the details of how the object is to be considered are not found in the Buddha's teachings. Because, well, I'm guessing here, because as Sarah also mentioned, the development of samatha does not lead to enlightenment. It is kusala of a different kind than the development of insight. And so unless one has some idea about how that contemplation can be done, or what kind of considerations there are to contemplate about in relation to breath, there cannot be the development of calm with breath as object. And it's the same with the other subjects of contemplation, like the earth kasina, for example. There's the general idea that if there is sufficient concentration on the earth kasina, then that will develop calm and further kusala. But that also cannot be the case. It has to be the way in which the earth element is considered, the importance in our lives of the earth element, and so on. In the past, in the Buddha's time, the information about the meditation subject came from the teacher who gave the subject to the follower. And that person was ideally an enlightened being, or if not, then someone who himself had developed jhana. And a big part of the development is the exchange between the teacher and the pupil on the subject. Today we don't have that kind of knowledge in existence anymore. And so it's very difficult for someone to think of taking up specifically contemplation on one of these meditation subjects for the purpose of developing calm. And the likelihood is that the thinking that is associated with the concentration or whatever will just be accumulating more akusala. On the other hand, there can be moments of kusala consideration about those different objects, like death, in a day, without necessarily choosing it as something to be developed. But just because people we know pass away, get ill, etc., and it is a condition for consideration about the briefness of life and so on and so forth. So those are moments when this kind of kusala can be developed.
All gone. Is it right? All gone. What is there now? No understanding of it? Or just thinking about the word about it? That's why we learn to understand what is meant by understanding. When there's no understanding of what is there, it's a reality that cannot understand right now. When we talk about all gone, but what is now appearing, is there understanding or no understanding? This is the way to develop truthfulness to the truth. Otherwise, it's one idea about this moment, this person, and so on. But the truth is the truth. Even it's there now appearing, no understanding of the truth of what is there at all. So we learn to understand that if there is no understanding of what is there in a moment right now, it's impossible to understand the moments in the future at all. So to begin to have firm confidence of the truth, not just the word, what is there now? Beginning to understand the truth. Otherwise, it's gone without any understanding at all, just the words about it. So now, everyone, what is there now? Reality, it's real, but what is it? Each moment is different by conditions. There's moment of hearing, and there's moment of seeing, and there's moment of thinking, unknown at all, just passed on and on and on and on, without just the idea about it, or be truthful to the truth that it's there now, but it's not known at all. So what is there? Beginning to study, to understand moment to moment. Moment of seeing is only seeing, and what about the next, on and on? Am I good? Very simple question to realize the truth. Am I good? See, without understanding, who knows what is there taken for I any moment, each moment. So, am I good? No understanding of seeing. When there's seeing and no understanding of seeing, is it good? So, all day, am I good? What is there taken for I at different moments of different realities? But what about ignorance? That's why each word of the truth has to be considered very, very carefully, again and again and again. What is real now is that which experiences the object, and the reality which cannot experience the object. To let go the idea of something. At moment of seeing, consider seeing, no shape, no form appearing at all, just the moment of experiencing that which is seen, and that which is seen cannot experience anything. That's why no matter whatever appears, there must be the truth of the reality which experiences it. Otherwise, it cannot be seen or cannot be heard at all. That's why from birth, there must be the reality. Each moment arises and experiences the object. And that is not just only reality. There are other realities which arise and experience the object as well, together, unknown that they are together. That's why learn to understand the hidden truth. So very subtle. It's there just to be talked about very easily or very shortly or never enough, as long as it's there now to be known. And if there's no understanding of the nature of that which is taken for I now see, I now hear, how can there be the understanding of the truth which is hidden, enlightened by the Buddha and taught about the truth of this moment? So very deep, stage by stage, little by little, about what is there in a moment, even samatha, calm, or understanding, clearly vipassana. See, all are there to be studied when it's there, to be known right then. When we talk about calmness, to understand what is it, in order that there can be understanding of it, which has been heard as it, no one there at all. That's why the truth is that in life, what is life? It's only the moment of that which arises and experiences the object. And that which is there cannot experience anything, no matter when, from birth on and on and on until death and next life on and on and on. Just like this, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. So, am I good? See, not understanding what is there now. Is it good? Is it right understanding? Or it is ignorance of that which appears on and on and on. We just talk about some realities which can be known. To understand that which it can be known on and on and on, more than just seeing and that which is seen. But to understand the truth, the absolute truth of life, it's the moment of experiencing an object. And when there's no understanding at all, is it calm? See, we begin to understand moment which is calm or not calm, not just the word. Ignorance cannot be calm at all. And when there is ignorance, there is attachment. No matter what is there as the object of experiencing. At moment of hearing a sound, it's gone, but it clings to that sound which is heard. What is it? Even that, it's not known, but actually it's not anyone at all. Learn to understand the truth that in life, any life, there are only that which experience the object, different characteristics like attachment, aversion, pleasant feeling, thinking, and so on. All are there in life each moment. That's why begin to understand firmer and firmer. We are studying about the truth of that which cannot be taken for anything permanent at all. Even now it's not permanent, no understanding of the impermanent of whatever is there appearing right now. So seeing does not last long at all, just a moment of seeing, no one, only that which is seen. Long enough until it conditioned the idea from that which is seen as nimitta, the sign of seeing, and also the sign of that which is seen, because they arise in succession, so very rapidly begins to let go the idea of self, little by little, at moment of understanding what is there as whether it is that which arises to experience the object or that which cannot experience anything. But that which cannot experiencing appear as something, right? People all around. In truth, what is seen is only that which can impinge on the eye base. And the process of seeing, not just one moment, but that reality which experiences the same object is different. That moment before seeing cannot be seeing. Before seeing, it means that not seeing. And seeing after that moment now sees many, many moments. And who knows what is there from moment to moment differently. Calm or not calm is there, unknown. That's why when there is the firm confidence of the truth of no one, no I, no thing, it's only that which is conditioned to just arise and falls away instantly, because the conditions it to arise, whatever is it. As soon as it has arisen, no condition further, so it falls away instantly. Is that true? Just consider it to be moment of being aware of the truth of whatever is now there as it is, little by little. Even it's calm when there's no understanding of it as no one. But there can be the understanding of that is calm, not seeing. That's why we learn to understand more about the truth, which is so very, very subtle. It's not just the word calm. We have to consider a little more. And that is the understanding from the very beginning to understanding what is there. Otherwise, it's just thought about calmness, vipassana, and so on. But what is this moment? If it's not known, that which cannot know, is it calm? See, consider a little more of each moment to be known. What moment is there? When there's no understanding of that which is now sees, the ignorance which cannot understand the truth, at all. Is it calm? See, begin to understand moment of what is calm and what is not calm. To begin to understand moment of calm. At moment of understanding the truth, even very little at a time, is so very useful, because without a moment of understanding, how can there be more and more understanding? That's why in order to understand what we heard about, calm or understanding, vipassana and so on, it has to be understanding the truth of this moment as the foundation to develop more understanding. What is there seeing? It's just a moment of seeing, the moment of experiencing an object. So it cannot be calm, right? Just to develop one's own understanding. So is there calm now at moment of seeing? It sees only that. And after seeing has fallen away, is the moment of calm there? Without any understanding, it cannot be calm. Calm at moment of understanding, because no ignorance, no attachment. That's why we learn about moment of calmness, that it has to be a level of understanding, not the reality as it is, but even what is there right then, which is not seeing, but is moment of beginning to understanding seeing. So be truthful to every moment, how much understanding of seeing right now, to be calm or not calm at all. That's why any moment of wholesome moments, there must be calm, because there's no ignorance at that moment, because it's a moment of wholesomeness. That's why we learn just a little more, not about the word, not just about the word, but the moment when it's there. Otherwise, it's useless. Not higher understanding to a higher degree of realizing what is there, as Buddha had enlightened the truth of it. It's not permanent. But now, without understanding of one reality, how can there be even the idea of it's not permanent, this moment? Until understanding develops more and more, on and on. When there is understanding, at that moment no ignorance, because understanding understands. That's why understanding the reality of the moment when it's there. So now, moment of seeing, is there any understanding of seeing? Learn to be truthful from the very beginning. So, is there now breath? See,
Dạ có, nhưng không sinh kèm với cái hiểu ạ.
Yes, but there's no understanding of it.
so how do you know that there is breath now?
Can you say again? I think she didn't hear. Can you say again?
Yes, but how do you know that is breath if there's no understanding of it?
If what you take for breath does not appear, do you know that there is breath?
Nói lại.
Different moments.
Tức là cái mà mình cho là hơi thở, nếu nó không xuất hiện thì làm sao mình biết, nó không xuất hiện thì làm sao mình biết được đó là có hơi thở?
Tại vì anh đang suy xét cái góc độ là nói hơi thở thì chỉ biết thôi, chứ còn hơi thở sinh kèm với an tịnh rồi nó phải sinh kèm với cái hiểu.
Tức là nếu như hơi thở nó không xuất hiện thì làm sao mình lại biết được là có hơi thở? Câu hỏi là như vậy. Là mình chỉ đoán thế thôi đúng không ạ? Mình chỉ vì là mình nghĩ là lúc nào cũng có hơi thở thì mình đoán nó thôi, chứ nếu nó không xuất hiện thì làm sao mình biết được đúng không ạ?
Yeah.
So it's just an assumption that there's breath.
So it's always assumption. No understanding of the truth when it's there.
Cái đoạn này nó hơi khó để hiểu, tức là mình bảo là lúc nào cũng có hơi thở, nhưng mà thực sự bây giờ mình có biết hơi thở không? Đúng không ạ? Mình chỉ là đang đoán nghĩ, mình nghĩ là mình bảo là thế nào cũng đang có hơi thở. Ý là như vậy ạ.
Vậy thì chị có thể nói là giảng sâu về cái chỗ mình có thể biết về điều đó không? Tại vì mình nói thường là mình có thở là mình sẽ biết hơi thở, nhưng mà thật sự rõ ràng là mình không biết hơi thở.
So, tức ý của cô là bây giờ mình không biết hơi thở thì phải làm thế nào? Ý là như thế thì ạ?
Là hơi thở.
So, can you explain about the implication of it, that we always assume that there's breath? She's not clear about what that means. Thank you.
As long as breath does not appear, can there be any understanding of the nature of breath?
Hơi thở chưa xuất hiện thì làm sao biết được bản chất của hơi thở? Vậy thì chết rồi chị.
Vậy thì chết rồi ạ?
Dạ.
Sao? Ý là
tại
sao?
vì Vậy thì thật ra mình cứ nghĩ mình biết là mình thở, nhưng mà nó chỉ là cái suy nghĩ thôi. Nhưng mà thực sự mình chưa biết cái tính chất của nó hơi thở.
Vâng, nhưng mà ý cô là chết rồi là sao ạ?
Có nghĩa là nó hơi thở xong không xuất hiện là mình đi rồi.
Không xuất hiện không có nghĩa nó không sinh khởi đúng không ạ?
Không xuất hiện với cái hiểu. Yeah.
Because she just said that, oh, if it doesn't appear, that means we are dead.
No, not dead. No death yet.
No.
So, is there breath now?
Có.
How do you know?
Vậy biết đang còn ngồi đây.
Because we are sitting here.
It means that everyone here understands breath. But just now, this moment, is there breath?
Tức là khi mà nói là có hơi thở ấy, thì mình chỉ bảo là có hơi thở vì mình biết là còn sống là phải có hơi thở thì mới sống được. Nhưng mà nó có xuất hiện hay không? Mà nếu nó không xuất hiện thì có thể hiểu được bản chất của nó hay không? Vị trí nó chỉ hiểu cái xuất hiện, đúng không ạ? Ý của bà là như vậy.
Thì mình không biết. Nó xuất hiện nhưng mà mình không biết.
Tức là nó sinh khởi nhưng mình không
nó
biết.
sinh khởi.
So it is there, it arises, but it's not object of understanding.
So can there be understanding of the nature of breath when breath is not there? Now, does breath appear?
Dạ chắc không.
Nếu nó không xuất hiện thì có thể hiểu được nó không ạ? Đấy là câu hỏi ạ. Chỉ là có hay không thôi đúng không ạ?
Không ạ.
Cannot be understood.
Just understanding about it. So, what is breath that you understand?
Như vậy là mình có hiểu gì về hơi thở không ạ?
Dạ không ạ.
So no understanding at all. No understanding of breath at all.
Is there breath? Again. Breathe now. Deeper.
Thì bây giờ cô thở sâu, cô có bài hỏi là có hơi thở không ạ?
Chỉ biết cái suy nghĩ thôi chứ không hiểu.
There's just thinking about breath.
Breathing.
Bây giờ khi mà mình thở sâu thì mình bảo là đang có hơi thở đúng không ạ?
I could say I know I'm breathing now because I can feel my lungs expand in and out, but that is not the same as saying that breathing is appearing. So this is, I think, the distinction that Ajahn is trying to draw our attention to. Just that because I know I'm breathing doesn't mean that breath is there to be known. Is breath being known? For me, no, because I'm not so interested in it. I'm paying more attention to the discussion, but I still know I'm breathing.
It's like the Hadiyawatu that you mentioned earlier. We know there's Hadiyawatu, heart base, arising and falling away. We know that almost every citta arises at the heart base, but it doesn't appear. So there's an assumption that there is Hariya Watu arising and falling away because we've heard about it and read about it. But if it doesn't appear now, if it's not the object of experience now, it can't be known. There can only be thinking about it. So this is an obvious example because it doesn't appear. It's not known, even though by thinking there is the assumption it arises and falls away, and the Buddha taught about it. And it's the same with breath. We know there must be breath arising and falling away. But if it doesn't appear now, it's just an assumption about it. It's just thinking that there is breath arising and falling away. But however much we would like to know it, if the reality, that particular reality conditioned by citta, if it doesn't appear, it's always just thinking about it. So the question is, what does appear? What can be known right now? For example, softness that is touched now is more apparent, visible object that is seen, sound that is heard, thinking now. These are realities that appear in a day that can be known. So there's a difference between the reality arising and falling away and being experienced, being apparent, being an object that can be understood here and now.
I'd like to mention another of the misconceptions about the development of samatha. The highest form of samatha development is jhana, right? Okay. Yes. And everyone knows that before jhana is actually attained, the factor of concentration becomes very strongly developed. So there's two stages of concentration. Approach samadhi and access samadhi. And from this information, it is generally assumed that therefore the development of samatha should begin with concentration. That development of samatha is in fact the development of concentration, because this highly developed concentration is necessary if jhana is to be attained. But that is not how it is stated in the texts. And what we understand from a close study of the teachings is that the development of samatha begins with kusala citta of any kind. Any development of kusala is development of samatha also, because the concentration factor is there and is being developed along with the kusala. There doesn't have to be a chosen object at the beginning. But from the text we understand that those who have developed samatha to a certain level, or have become, who have an aptitude, an ability, a skill in developing samatha, may then consider contemplating a particular object for further development. But that is something that has to come at the right time and not before its time. If we start with the idea that the development of samatha begins with taking an object and concentrating on it, then it is the wrong path of samatha. It would not be kusala, because there's the wrong idea about the role of concentration. And there's no idea about how important it is that the citta must be kusala for any development to occur. So obviously, if one doesn't yet know the difference between kusala and akusala in daily life, it would not be possible to even consider the purposeful development of samatha. There are plenty of opportunities for kusala in a day apart from having any idea of a practice like that.
Now, you know what breath is? What is it?
Hơi thở là nói như là cái khái niệm.
It's a concept.
Concept all day about the reality, which is the unknown. But can there be the understanding of the truth of what is there as it is, little by little, in order to understand that actually it's conditioned just to appear and disappear instantly? What is more precious? That no matter its breath or whatever, it's there by conditions and then falls away instantly. Otherwise, there is clinging to what is there when there is no understanding of the nature of it, as it's gone already. No matter what is there appearing now. But what appears is so very different from the moment to moment, right? Moment of seeing is not the moment of breathing, right? So what is seen? Is it breath? Can it be breath?
Dạ không.
No. So at moment of breathing, what realities are there? The breath, what is it?
Tại là căng.
It's the pressure, like motion.
One at a time. Motion. Or what else?
Dạ.
Motion is real. Can it experience anything?
Dạ. Dạ.
So, is the breath now known? Or just think about? So at moment it's there, it can be known as it is. What is it? Which we take for breath. and through what doorway it appears. This is to understand the truth little by little, to know a little more about its truth, to be letting go of wrong understanding, taking it for breathing, or I'm breathing. That's why we just ask about calm from consider breath, concentrate on it, on and on. But there's no understanding at all at that very moment to be calm or to be right understanding of its truth. Right? That's why if there is the understanding of breath by way of concept or by way of the absolute truth, there can be the understanding of breath as it is, no matter by way of samatha or just the way it is, to be known as it's not I or anyone at all. It's just a reality that has to be known. Otherwise, there is the idea of breath all the time. And I'm breathing, see? But what is the truth? Which let go ignorance and attachment to it as breath. That's why it's not just trying to understand breath by way of samatha. What for? Attachment is there, or no attachment? To think about it, want to know more about it, or want it to be object of calmness. But in truth, without any understanding of any level, cannot be calm at all. So just the word calm, but in truth, what kind of reality is it that we use or we take it for calm, rightly or wrongly? It depends on understanding, to understand a little more of the truth. So, is calm real? What reality is it? What reality of calm?
An sở, an tịnh.
It's the Passaddhi Cetasika.
The word. Cetasika, everyone remember the word. It's the reality which experiences object by being calm. Calm is there, experience the object. So now, it's I see, it's not calm. But calm is the reality which experiences the object with some level of understanding which is wholesome. Because ignorance cannot be wholesome, and ignorance arises with other unwholesome reality, not calm at all. But when it's calm, it has to be the understanding at level of, it can condition calmness right there, that level. Just be calm at moment of understanding the truth of it. So it's different from right understanding with calm or high level of understanding that object. That's why calm, wanting to be calm or developing calmness and even calm at that moment, it depends on what degree understanding is there to be calm, with or without higher understanding, or just the level of calmness only. See, not just the word calm and think that there is the understanding of calm, but the truth of calm has to be known in order to let go. I am calm. I'm developing calmness. Calm is calm. Calm cannot be understanding. So there are many different realities which arise to experience the object, but not as a chief. So they are different reality which experience the object. That's why as they are not citta, they are cetasika. Because they experience the object with calm, different from at that moment it's experience the object with ignorance and attachment. So now calm can be understood by oneself. Which moment is calm and which moment is not calm, and what is calm, and what is the object of calmness. It has to be a level of understanding, because ignorance cannot be calm at all. Learn to understand the nature of calm, to understand calm at moment when it's there. And this is the intellect understanding of the truth of whatever is real, citta and cetasikas, and rupa. So is there rupa at moment of calmness on breath?
Vâng, câu hỏi là có sắc nào ở cái khoảnh khắc có an tịnh hay là khoảnh khắc có hơi thở không ạ? Có sắc nào ở khoảnh khắc có an tịnh hay là có hơi thở không ạ?
Sắc theo tâm sinh.
There is the rupa conditioned by chitta.
What rupa?
Cô có thể nói rõ sắc nào không ạ? Loại sắc gì ạ? Có 28 loại sắc đúng không ạ? Sắc mà do tâm sinh mà cô đang nói tới là sắc nào ạ?
The truth is the truth. It depends on understanding and careful considering to understand just the word rupa, Dhamma. It's not enough at all at moment of just thinking about it. But when it's there, the understanding of what we have learned or understood before shows up as it is, as what we learned. So what is the nature of breath? Just answer this condition by citta, but what is the nature of that which is taken from breath? Is it real? See, the same word we have heard, but it's time to consider through what doorway it appears. See, when there's right understanding, it can be answered instantly. But what we heard is the word about everything, but it's not enough. The word is heard just to understand when it's there as it is. So, what rupa is breath?
Tức là câu hỏi của bà có hai cái là đó là sắc nào và nó được kinh nghiệm qua căn môn nào.
Sắc do tâm sinh và kinh nghiệm qua thân môn. Sắc do nghiệp sinh.
Dạ. Nhưng mà có 28 loại sắc đúng không ạ? Thì cụ thể nó là sắc nào ạ?
Không nhớ đâu chị.
She said that she knows that it's experienced through the body door, but she doesn't remember what kind of rupa it is.
But to understand the truth, See, it's not just to be remembered. It's useless to remember without understanding. What is the object of that which experience through mind, through body doll?
Đối tượng của thân căn được kinh nghiệm là cứng mềm, nóng lạnh.
She said like hardness, softness, and hot and cold.
So is this breath, hardness here? Why not?
Thì đó là sắc do hơi thở là sắc do nhiệt sinh, tâm sinh, mà cái đó không phải.
Cái đó là do gì sinh ạ? Do gì ạ?
Do gì hết.
Không do gì hết ạ? She said that, okay, I think she just so nervous. She said that it's not because the breath is conditioned by chitta. And this one, she's not sure what is conditioned by.
Not sure whether chitta condition it or what.
Cô không nhớ được là cái này là do nhiệt, do sắc này là do gì sinh ạ?
Cái sắc đó thì do nhiệt sinh.
It's utucha rupa. It's conditioned by temperature.
Remember? But that which is conditioned by rupa is different from that which is conditioned by chitta. That's why there can be the idea breath is not this hardness. That's why we learn to begin to understand that understanding is not I, but it's moment of listening to the word of truth. And this moment is moment of careful considering, see, to really understand the difference between breath and this kind of hardness, which is not conditioned by chitta. So at moment of experiencing hardness here, and the moment of experiencing breath, is there any difference? When it does not appear, no understanding or no answer because it hasn't appeared yet. But learn to understand each different moment, that which is conditioned by chitta, by kamma, by utu, and by ahara. Even it's hard. And what about the hardness of the tree? See? That's why learn to understand a little more of the truth of what is there, to understand about what is heard. At this moment, thinking about the differences of the chair, what we take for hardness there as a chair, and that which is taken for a tree, can it be known that it's different? Different degree of hardness, right? And no one there at all. Is it calm at this moment? It's not known. But from hearing, considering, there can be the understanding what condition calm. It's not just arise at will or any time, but it's conditioned by understanding of calmness. right? Not just the word calm. So calm is there at any moment of wholesome moments. At moment of ignorance, is it calm? So moment of understanding, of calmness, conditioned calmness. A moment of understanding kusala, even a reality appear, even it's not calm, but there can be the understanding of at moment of kusala. It's different from moment with akusala as ignorance and attachment. So it's calm without ignorance and attachment at that very moment. The understanding of what is calm is better than just take the word calm as it's such and such. So even its moment of wholesome or unwholesome to be known has to be known by right understanding. That's why at this moment, seeing, no understanding of anything, it's ignorance. How much ignorance? So begin to understand whether is one good, in a day.
Just back to the hardness, softness, the same reality. Softness is touched, we can repeat it, but at the moment of understanding softness, it's just a reality. Like you say, it's conditioned by temperature because it's outside the body. But at the moment of touching it, it's just softness. The understanding doesn't mind how it's conditioned, it's just softness that is understood as experienced at that moment. Softness again, different softness than this softness. Softness here, different again. Softness here when breathing, another softness. And the one here when breathing is conditioned by citta, but it's still just softness. And if there's understanding, again, it doesn't mind, it doesn't matter what softness there is, but there can be understanding that each softness is different and the softness is conditioned in different ways. Inside the body, there can be hardness or softness. If one's eaten something that doesn't suit one, there can be experiencing of hardness. In this case, it can be conditioned by temperature or nutriment, or even by, in a group, conditioned by karma. But anyway, the hardness or the softness is still just hardness or softness. So why mind or think about breath? Because what is experienced, motion or softness or heat, is just a rupa, arising and falling away of no consequence. And however much development of understanding with calm there is of the reality that we call breath, it's still just a reality that arises and falls away. And even the moments of kusala, insignificant because they rise and fall away. So focuses on breath or tries to be aware of this softness and not this softness, it's going to be motivated by lobha, And as Jonathan said, wrong concentration, just focusing on the object we think is so important and special, but actually it's just an inconsequential element arising and gone. Do you have any more questions about breath? I think it's a good topic for everyone, so if you have anything else you would like to ask about, please do.
Dạ không, khi hồi nãy ngồi con lắng nghe bà Sarah giảng thì bà đang giải thích cho con về cái sự cứng mềm, ở đây cũng có mềm, ở bên chỗ kia cũng có mềm, nhưng mà rõ ràng là nó duyên cho những cái mềm đó là khác nhau. Nhưng mà tại sao mình lại cứ dính mắc vào cái hơi thở, nhưng mà trong khi cũng có những cái khác nó mềm, thì con đang thấy cái chỗ đó rất là hay ạ. Yeah.
Yes, as I was listening to you explaining about, it's all hardness and softness, although they are conditioned by different conditions, but hardness here and hardness here, or softness here and softness there, is still the same. So I find that it's very interesting. It's a good point.
Whichever one it is just a Dhamma. It's not my breath, my body, my anything. It's just a Dhamma that arises and falls away. And whichever softness it is not more special or important than any other softness. It's just another element that's gone instantly. Nothing to dream of, nothing to wish for, nothing to try to understand or experience. Otherwise, I gets in the way all the time, instead of letting go and understanding whatever appears now.
Just some more question about breath. Is breath now appearing?
Dạ không.
No.
No. And when it appears, is it calm at that moment when breath appears?
Dạ có, nếu xuất hiện với lại cái hiểu.
If it appears to understanding.
Or a little more level of not knowing breath to understand. In order to be calm at moment of breath is there. What is their condition calm? At moment of breath is there.
Tức là cái thời điểm mà có hơi thở xuất hiện ấy, thì cái gì là cái làm duyên cho sự an tịnh nếu như có sự an tịnh?
Cái gì làm duyên cho sự an tịnh? Dạ là thiện. Chị nói lại.
Vậy là thiện hay là hiểu ạ?
Dạ có cái hiểu thì sẽ làm duyên cho sự an tịnh.
The understanding conditions calm at the moment.
So, what is their condition calm?
She said that understanding.
At moment of breath is appearing. What is their condition calm?
Và hỏi lại một lần nữa.
Dạ, có cái hiểu.
The understanding.
At some level. As how? Why is calm? Some level of understanding condition that calm. What is that? Which condition calm? What is some understanding?
You say that when breath appears, there is calm if there's understanding. So what is the object of the understanding at that moment? What is being understood?
Chị có thể nói nãy giờ không có dịch cho chị.
Because now, if breath is appearing and calm is there, what level of understanding, condition, just calm? Calm cannot arise without condition. So what condition? Condition calm at moment of experiencing breath, or breath is the moon. What condition it? To be different level of understanding. Without understanding can be calm at moment of breath appearing.
Chị có thể nhắc đi.
Nếu mà không có cái hiểu thì có thể có sự an tịnh ở khoảnh khắc mà hơi thở xuất hiện không ạ?
Dạ không ạ.
No, cannot.
That's why hoping to have calm at moment when breath appear. No condition for calmness at all. That's why there are the explanation about condition to be calm at moment of breath is there appearing. Understanding that life depends on breath. See, we think that it depends on many things, but actually, life depends on breath. Just a moment, very, very subtle reality, not as hard as the chair or what is touched, but it's breath conditioned by citta. So without breath, can there be life? So we are attached to so many things, forgetting that life just depends on breath. Can that become a little bit? Life just depends on breath. Without breath, it's death. Otherwise, how can they be calm at moment of experience breath? But not the level of understanding. It's just that which arises and gone. Because now breath does not appear, and when death appears, it has a reason and then gone. Another level of understanding. So samatha is just the wise thinking, considering about life. It doesn't depend on other thing at all, just breath. A little calm.
Restate something that was mentioned earlier. It's not the breath itself that conditions calm. It's the way it is the object of the wise consideration that can condition calm. And in the case of understanding, which Ajahn was asking about, we know that in the development of insight, there are 3 levels of understanding considered one way: pariyatti, paripatti, pariveda. The understanding that may arise when breath is being considered is not any of these 3 levels or kinds of understanding. It is understanding of a different kind altogether. So this understanding, the understanding that's developed when samatha is developed, is not a condition for the understanding of conditioned realities. That is a separate accumulated tendency, if you like. It's still the same reality, panya cetasika, but this reality can have different aspects. And so the accumulation of panya for samatha leads to, eventually, if it's sufficiently developed, leads to jhana, citta. But that doesn't provide any basis for the understanding of realities, which is a completely different kind of consideration, because the object is no longer a concept, it's a reality. And the understanding of concepts is not a condition for the understanding of realities.
So now, then it can be the understanding of object of calmness. See, not just beautiful flower or anything, but life depends on breath. Is that true? A little echo.
Thế có câu hỏi, tức là bởi vì câu hỏi đầu tiên của cô là hơi thở nó làm duyên cho sự an tịnh như thế nào. Bây giờ Achan nói là cuộc sống chỉ phụ thuộc vào hơi thở. Khi mà suy xét về điều ấy thì có sự an tịnh không? Ý của Achan là như vậy. Bây giờ cô nghe như vậy thì cô có thấy có một chút an tịnh nào không khi mà nghĩ đến hơi thở?
Thì thưa Achan là từ nãy giờ Achan và ông John và Sarah đã nói thì con thấy là suy xét nghe như vậy thì có khoảnh khắc có cái sự an tịnh, và nó cũng là do duyên sanh, nếu mình không thể nào mà muốn để có tâm an tịnh được.
As I was listening to your explanations from the three of you, occasionally there were moments of calmness, and I understand that those moments arise by condition. I cannot make them to arise.
And that's the main point, that whatever arises now is by conditions and anatta. No one can make it arise. However much one would like to be calm, however one wishes to practice, wherever one wishes to go, calm cannot arise when there are not the right conditions. And the most important condition is there has to be understanding, either understanding of what calm is and the way it is developed, or the understanding of reality right now. Otherwise, without kusala citta at this very moment, cannot be calm. It's just more wishing and trying and wanting and imagining about objects to focus on or be aware of. But life is now at this very moment. So the understanding has to be right now. So I think we've come in a big circle back to the start, talking about the difference between breath as object of samatha, breath as object of understanding of realities, and how there has to be the wise reflecting on breath as object of samatha. How it depends, how life depends on it right at this moment. Otherwise, no calm, just thinking and dreaming about breath, but without any understanding of how it can be a condition for calm. And when it comes to the reality, it's not of any importance if it appears, if that subtle rupa appears by conditions, which it may. It can be the object of understanding like any other reality. So thank you for bringing the topic up for everyone.
Dạ, cô có con câu hỏi thêm nào không ạ?
Thì con hát rồi, nhưng mà từ nãy giờ thật sự con không có nghe được cái đoạn của bạn kia dịch được. Nhưng mà con thấy là nó có ngay bây giờ, có nghĩa là mình dính mắc là mình muốn được nghe nhiều thì tâm dính mắc nó sẽ sanh khởi, nhưng mà con sẽ thấy có cái sự an tịnh ngay cái khoảnh khắc đó và hiểu được. Thì kể như ông Trơn và A Chan và Sa Ra cũng nói thì nếu mà khoảnh khắc nào mình suy xét về với cái hiểu thì nó sẽ làm duyên cho sự an tịnh. Thì cái mấu chốt ở trong là tất cả là đều là thiện là cái cơ sở để nó làm duyên. Thì hôm nay con đã hiểu ra điều này, con rất là tri ân bà và ông Trơn và Sa Ra.
So the last part that Sarah was saying, she couldn't hear. Maybe some problems with her earphone. But at those moments, she realized that there was the attachment to wanting to hear. And when she understood that, there was calmness at that moment. So she's very glad to consider about that everything is conditioned.
How it arises unexpectedly, not when trying or wishing for it to rise, but calm can arise anytime, like now, when the citta is kusala and when understanding has been developed especially.
Nghe được không? Đang bị hỏng tai đúng không? So maybe she will move to the other room so that she can listen in the other room.
So now there is breathing. What about the understanding, whether there is calm or no calm? That's why even just thinking about life depends on breath. It's different from the other moment when one is practicing breathing for exercise.
Thank you so much, Ajahn. She will go to the room where she can listen to the translation. Dạ, cảm ơn cô. Hình như mình còn một chút thời gian, có ai có câu hỏi tiếp theo không ạ?
Thêm một tí về cái hơi thở.
Vâng, con mời thầy ạ.
Dạ, con kính chào A Chan, chào ông Trôn và bà Sarah cùng các bạn. Con hôm nay con mới được nghe về kỹ lưỡng về việc hơi thở. Bình thường thì con cũng nghĩ là con hiểu, nhưng mà đến hôm nay con mới biết là con không hiểu gì về hơi thở. Mà có khi con cũng rất là thích thực hành về cái việc hơi thở để đạt được an tịnh. Thì điều này đúng là hôm nay được phân tích thì con mới thấy rõ ràng cái tà kiến và cái tham nó dẫn dắt quá nhiều khi mình làm tất cả những cái hành động mà mình không có hiểu một chút gì về những cái là thực tại. Thì con rất là hoan hỉ về cái việc mà một chút hiểu sinh khởi hôm nay, và con cũng sẽ lắng nghe thêm để suy xét thêm về việc này. Nó rất là giá trị với một chút hiểu ít ỏi nơi con vừa sinh khởi ạ.
Thank you so much for all the explanations about breath. Before I thought that I understood about breath, but today I realized that I didn't have any understanding of it. And I also realized that we are easily misled by attachment and wrong view. Myself, I like to, because she didn't say in the past tense, so I don't know whether she was referring to the past or just now. But she said she liked to practice breath as a meditation object, but she realized that if we don't have the right understanding, then we are misled. And there's just a little understanding compared to before, but it's very valuable, very precious. So she will continue to listen to and understand more about this topic.
And from your practice of breath, has there been any understanding gained? Or is it a case of more concentration?
Dạ, không có hiểu biết nhưng mà cứ ý niệm là mình biết về nó và mình thực hành ạ.
No understanding, just the idea that I know about it, and then the idea about practicing.
And talking of breath then, we know that if we concentrate on breath as a kind of practice, we can say breath then appears. But can breath also appear in daily life without any thought of focusing on it?
Có ạ.
Yes.
And at those moments, there can be the contemplation of breath rather than trying to focus on it, trying to concentrate. And at those moments, if there is some useful reflection on breath, not just the idea of focusing on it, that could be a condition for kusala, because the consideration is useful in the manner that Ajahn explained. And those moments would be quite different from the other time when we decide to focus on breath and maybe concentrate or think about, even for contemplating, even when we understand that it's not breath itself that's the condition for calm, it's the way it's contemplated. But that doesn't mean that we can then decide to focus on breath so it can be contemplated. That would be a misunderstanding. That would be the same mistake as we make when developing understanding of realities. So it's only if breath appears naturally, not because we think it should be studied particularly, that it's only when it appears naturally that the useful contemplation, if it happens, will be kusala.
Just one comment that, as you said, when practicing breath, very easily misunderstood, without understanding, misled all the time. And I think we get an idea of how very, very deeply rooted the attachment is. Such strong attachment, trying to practice, wishing to get result, trying to focus on the breath, but without any understanding. So misled by ignorance and attachment all the time. So that's why we need to hear and discuss and consider the reality now, again and again.
And I like the description that Ajahn gave of the contemplation as being contemplation about life in a useful way. Actually, it doesn't need to have breath appearing for that kind of contemplation to occur. It can occur in relation to other subjects, such as death, which I mentioned earlier, or the virtues of the Buddha, if they come to mind, or how there is this life and the next life. Actually, any aspect of the teachings can be the subject of useful contemplation in daily life, because we've heard so much about the teachings. And those moments of contemplation can be development of samatha also, because there can be calm at those moments. And it's calm that is occurring naturally, not because we've decided to practice in a certain way. And so this is all consistent with the teaching about conditioned dhammas having their own conditions. They do not arise in the way we would like them to, or they do not, kusala doesn't arise because we decide there should be more kusala in a day. That is not the condition for kusala.
Vâng, con rất là cảm ơn Achan rồi ông bà đã giúp cho con nhận ra những cái việc mà khi không hiểu biết nhưng lại cứ muốn thực hành thì nó chỉ vun bồi thêm vô minh và tà kiến, và mình lại cho đó là một lối tu hành để đạt đến được một cái gì đó, thì thật sự là một sự hiểm nguy ạ. Con tri ân.
Thank you, Ajahn and Jun and Sarah, for enlightening me about there needs to be the understanding. Without understanding and just wanting to practice, then it becomes very dangerous because it's the wrong way.
Just like to add something that I just thought of. Among the objects that appear in daily life is the body. And there's many useful ways to reflect on the body. They're all set out in the text. We know them, but maybe until now we thought that it's when they are taken as a deliberately taken as a subject of contemplation, but that is not the case. When there is the seeing of the body or the contacting with a certain part of the body or thinking about the body and the things like excrement and so forth. These are all things that can, with the right kind of contemplation, can be a condition for calm in a day.
Very good point, thank you.
Continue this afternoon.
Yes. Vâng, bây giờ thì cũng đã hết giờ. Vâng.
Xin một câu tiếp là cái ông Bắc Trôn vừa nói thì đúng là cái chỗ vướng mắc của tụi con đang rất là hướng đến sự thực hành như là niệm thân, niệm tâm, nhưng mà con vẫn giữ trên một cái nguyên lý là không hiểu gì mà thích làm mọi thứ, nên chiều con mong được Achan cùng các bậc thầy giúp con thêm về việc này ạ.
Yes, the point you just touched, I think it's very interesting because many of us clung to the idea of practicing with those subjects as meditation subject, and I think it's worth if we spend time in the afternoon talking about this topic. Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dạ vâng, vậy bây giờ chúng ta